This time on Kustom Works, big news, big new project, and I explain my secret mission. Where have I been for all of that time? Let's get to the workshop. This time on Kustom Works, the Meat Wagon is actually finished. Yeah, we've got news, we've got new projects, but first off, let's have a look at the Meat Wagon. Actually finished, actually done. I've just got a couple more jobs and then that is it. Meat Wagon gone. So let's take a look at those couple of jobs. We had the Meat Wagon running all day as if it was in like a fake cooking scenario, maybe at a car show, selling meat to the people. And we left it there all day long. We did find there was a couple of problems. Over there's a little bit of stainless trim needed, but mainly, and the main problem was the end part at the side of the griddle. The paint started to blister. This got incredibly hot and just not fit for purpose. You know, fiberglass can take quite a bit of heat, but this was pretty intense. So I've remade it in stainless steel. And there it is, like absolutely bulletproof. You know, it just ends up this nice, makes everything look tidy, hides around the ram and stuff. This is just going to be able to take all the heat in the world. Looks nice from the other side of the meat flap. Just a bit of an improvement on the old fiberglass ones. Sometimes you can get away with faking it, sometimes you can't. In this scenario, it didn't actually work, so I had to change it. Right, and so this didn't just fall from the sky, I actually made it. And this is what happened when I did all of that. On the front of the 60s truck, I've had not a problem, but definitely a styling conundrum. Now, here, usually this has got like a trim round it that makes the front light, and it's got a little bit of forward rake. Now, I thought that was enough forward rake, but if we look at this wheel arch here, which is all just in rough filler and there's no real arch at all, I want this to have a vent at the front of the wheel arch. So I want it to come up, but I want that to have some rake to it. Now, the rake that I had on this bit just isn't enough. So I've extended it by about 3.5 inches and made it a lot more sort of peaky. And I've done it all in foam, and I'm gonna shape it into its final form that it's gonna be on the car. So let's get to the bench. So here's the front bit, all in expanding foam. I put this on it was probably exactly 24 hours ago, so it should be all cooked all the way through. Always worth leaving this stuff to dry overnight, else it's all mushy inside. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to cut its shape with the saw, and then using the DA and some 40 grit. So I'm going to cut its shape, then sand it up, and then we'll fiberglass it, and then it will be the front of the car forever. and ever, and ever. And yes, that's my compressor coming up. Oh yeah. Right, let's do some sawing. There we go. That's pretty much the shape. Obviously now this will be all fiberglassed, and then we can fill it, and then that will be the front of the truck forevermore. It just didn't have enough rake from the side, and that's really going to tie in with what I've got in mind for the front wheel spat. And yeah, I think it's going to make everything look a lot better. So time has skipped forward a bit. That's what time does when it's not actually linear, like just on YouTube. And from what was just some sculpted foam, I've now fiberglassed and bodyworked this, which is, it's that front headlight thing on the truck. You know what, when building something like this, it is totally asymmetric and so many one-off bits. The headlight thing off the front is probably as good as I can go, because there's not really a name for this on a normal car. Yeah, the headlight thing. Anyway, done all this, and I've even made it so it fits. It's got this rebate to fit onto the front of the truck. So let's have a test fit and see how it goes. So on the inside here, I've put these bits of angle, and this is where it actually screws to the car. And this bit, obviously very rough, but this bit, all of this is what supports this part. And as he's going to do two separate bits, I'm not that bothered about that. So there it is. That goes on, fits really nicely. You know, it fits up to the body. I've done that same thing of putting masking tape on the body, glassing up to it, you know, how I've done on a lot on this car. But there it is, with its extra hoodiness. Again, is that a word? I don't know. Maybe I could release a whole new dictionary of nonsense words. That is on there, looks pretty good. So the next thing for this will be a couple of heavy coats of high build primer, and then, you know, it can be perched here, we know it fits, and it can sit here with that primer going off for a couple of months, and then, you know, ready for when we properly bodywork this for paint. Because don't forget, there's the making the shape bodywork, that's what we're doing at the minute, then there's paint prep. And the two are quite different, you know, one's a lot of Surform and 40 grit, and the other is a lot of very much finer, just sanding stuff. But this is almost ready for that. And of course, all this effort with this front thing, it was all to get this line a little bit more angled, so that when we bring the front line to the front fender skirt, that's going to have a similar angle. I was looking at this and thought, you know what, this is never going to work with this, and that's why I had to make such a lot of modifications to that. So in the next couple of weeks, what I'll be doing is making this front fender skirt, which is where the air's going to get in and everything, but very important piece, and this just had to be changed to make it work. Another thing I've done on the 60s truck, I've made the wheel spat for this side. Now, same method as the other side, and the other side was on the show. You can go back to you know, old episodes and see how I made that. But this one, a few little differences. I bought this little fin up here, which follows the line of the rear lights. It's a little bit different at the back, because, you know, we're going for that asymmetric style. This car, as you walk around it, needs to have just detail after detail and modification after modification, like too many to take in. You'll have to walk around this car probably 10 times, I reckon, and you're still not going to see it all. But that is looking really, really good, and we'll be getting that body worked and getting that painted in that lovely gold really soon. On the 60s truck, there's a problem with the sun visor. This sun visor is off of our mould, and it does have a particularly wobbly bottom edge. Can you see that wobble? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little flare on it, a little bit of snow plough, give it a little bit more, you know, sort of shape and style. And the way I'm going to do that is using this aluminium bar. It's about, what is it? 8 mil?
6 mil.
6 mil, thank you very much. 6 mil aluminium bar, and I'm going to bend it around to form a nice edge. Then I'll aluminium tape that on the back of it, and then I'll just fiberglass down to it, and it'll be nice and strong. The reason I'm using aluminium bar, if you use steel bar on something like this, the steel will start to rust, and it will ruin the immortal fiberglass. So always go with aluminium anything under fiberglass. Never put steel under fiberglass. That's where things will always start to go wrong. Because of course the steel is very reactionary with damp and stuff like that, and it will let the whole project down. But aluminium, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Got all this fiberglass at the back, making this dip in the roof. This has all got to be bodywork smooth, but that's looking really solid now. This doesn't flex at all anymore. And also I've started filling down to this piece of aluminium bar that we fiberglassed in before. And this is just going to look great. This little bit of flare, the shape, how it molds into the roof. It's just going to help the overall look of the car and that sort of, you know, blown from glass sort of look we want it to have when it's finished. So the Meat Wagon is finished. All done. It's been a massively challenging project. I've never put a kitchen in the back of a van before. I've never made this much bodywork on a car. Even, you know, stuff like Automatron and Cosmotron, they were a lot smaller cars. This thing has been a massive project, a massive undertaking, and a real learning curve. But now I know how to do it, I may do it again.
No, you won't.
Anyway, I won't. No. So, this car will be going off up to the northeast of England. It will be a lot of shows around there, serving up some meat, and hopefully I'm going to catch up with it at some point, and I'll be there eating meat, and you can look at me next to the van eating meat. Anyway, as one project leaves, another project arrives. So, come with me.
What's behind the gate?
What's behind the gate? So, it's really raining quite heavily. Squeeze past the Meat Wagon here. Past my... Some people call this stuff junk. This is my gold. This is my gold. Okay then, so here we are. Behind these gates is the new project. And the new project is something I built many years ago, 15 years ago, out of my drive, where my whole hot rodding story began. I built ULIMATE. This is the car ULIMATE. As it lives and breathes in its aluminium and fiberglass body, this is the car. And it is back. And it is looking a little bit sad for itself. There's a lot of flaking paint. There's a few cracks here and there. Here and there, there's cracks everywhere. This car was bought from me, and it was used and looked after for a few years, and then someone dumped it in a field for like nearly 7 years. It's really took a beating, but now thankfully someone's bought it, had the good sense to bring it back to me, and over the next few weeks, what am I talking about? The next few months, maybe a year, we're going to be restoring this car back, not back to how it was, but we're going to be restoring this car, because why restore when you can customise? So this is going to be one of our new projects. it's Dualitron, and it's awesome. That is our new project, almost a restoration, but believe me, there's going to be some changes. Ta-da! Dualitron! Right, so that is pretty much all we've got time for, except for that massive piece of news, and the piece of news is I am one of the car builders on the NBC show Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge, and that's where I've been. That's why Kustom Works wasn't on for a couple of months, because I was there filming a different show, a way bigger show. There's a trailer out for it. You can click on that down in the description. There is a little bit of me in a lot more sort of big budget sort of production.
Polished, we might say.
Polished, that's the one. Anyway, that's where I've been. I'm sure if you live in America, you'll be able to see this very soon. I'm sure if you're in the UK, there must be ways to see it. I'll be looking for ways to see it, because you know what? I'm in it. Anyway, that is it for this week. Don't forget, click, subscribe, bell icon, share everything so other people watch, more cars I can build, more cars can build, more fun for all. I thank you very much and good night.